Welcome to the Manifest Your Man online show, how to find, attract, and keep a high quality man. Today, I'm so excited to bring you a really special guest. She is full of information, so you do not want to miss this episode. I want to introduce to you one of our top experts, Anna Rova. She is a certified feminine embodiment coach, which I think you're the first feminine embodiment coach that we've had on the series. So super exciting. She works with smart, successful women who want a great, committed, masculine man in their life, but just can't seem to find and keep one. Through Anna's group coaching program, Claimed, we help these women shift out of their masculine, that controlling, demanding energy into their feminine, open, receiving energy, release and reframe their limiting beliefs, discover and embody their unique feminine flavor or style, and learn how to date intentionally in an embodied and authentic way so they can attract the kind of man they dream of and have him set up to claim them. Welcome, Anna. Thank you so much for joining us.
Woohoo! Thanks for having me. I'm super excited, Amanda. Thank you.
Yes, this interview is going to be so good. There's a lot of great questions I want to dig into, so I can't wait to get started. So the first thing I really want to ask you, I would love just to jump in and talk about your 4-step formula to attracting commitment masculine men, because I would say every woman on this that is watching today, that's exactly what they want to know.
Yeah, great. Let's jump into that. So I call it the CMM attraction formula, and CMM stands for committed masculine man. And so, I mean, that already, I think we should define that in itself, because committed masculine man is something that I came up with, and then all of my clients are like, CMM, I want a CMM. So I was like, okay, well, I better put together a CMM attraction formula for all women who want to know what is the process for attracting a great committed masculine man. So what we mean by CMM, committed meaning a man who is open, ready, and available for a relationship, who is emotionally available. And then masculine means a man who, and maybe you'll ask me this, well, I'll actually talk about that in the formula. Masculine man means a man who is able to hold space, who is that high value man that women want, who is in charge of his own life, who stands strong and is secure within himself, financially secure and all of that, and who also can lead the relationship forward, who is pursuing you in dating, who is courting you, who is paying for dates, and who's really a man you can trust and a man who you can surrender to. So that's what we mean by committed masculine man, because all of my women, I don't know about your women, it seems like most women want that kind of a man who's ready, willing, and available for a relationship, but who's also a man you can deeply trust and surrender to. And so there's 4 steps to the CMM attraction formula. Step number 1 is all about unlocking that relationship polarity. And so if women don't know, and my clients say that polarity, or that feminine masculine polarity in relationship or in dating dynamics, was the biggest aha moment for women, because so many women just don't know about this concept of feminine masculine polarity. And when they realize it and understand how it works, everything changes. So do you want me to quickly kind of run through that and through all the steps?
Yes, I would love to hear all the stuff.
Okay, great. So when we talk about feminine masculine polarity, it's kind of like a duality principle, right? And by the way, these terms are really popular today: feminine, masculine, I need to be more feminine, blah, blah. But really, these are just labels. And, sometimes labels are really harmful, and within feminine, masculine, they can be. But how I look at this, it's a really useful filter to look at how relationship dynamic works, and especially in dating, because once you understand that, everything changes. So the first step to unlock that relationship polarity is to really understand that, when women and men interact together, if they're heterosexual, feminine and masculine are like 2 sides of the pole, and they attract each other. Now, it's important to say that number 1 is that all humans have feminine and masculine energy within them. The feminine, well, let's start with the masculine. The masculine energy is all about that go, go, go. It's all about that direction. It's all about thinking and strategizing. It's what all of us use in the workspace and in business. And this is very much the dominant energy when we have to get stuff done. And the feminine energy on the other end, or on the contrary, is the opposite of that. So what's the opposite of go, go, go? Strategize, go for it, go for the kill. It's all about direction. It's being in flow. It's more concerned about feeling rather than thinking. It's, the path from A to B is not linear. It's all about cycles. And in nature, for example, the ocean is a really great representation of the feminine, because it comes and goes and it's vast, right? It fills up the space, where the masculine in nature is like a mountain. And so when we understand it's just energies, the most important to understand is that it's energies, and it's present in every single human being, men and women. Now, what I found in my experience, and then I went down the rabbit hole of research, like in evolutionary psychology and all of that, is that most women identify with the feminine essence, and most men identify with the masculine essence. The second most important thing to understand here is that, and I think that today a lot of women have that misconception, that the feminine is weaker or inferior. I don't hold that belief. I hold the belief, and this has been true in my experience, that the feminine and the masculine are equal. They're equally powerful. They're equally strong. They just manifest or are realized in different ways. And so the masculine is not superior. The masculine is not stronger and better, right? And the feminine is not inferior. They're both equal, and they're the same. And so when we talk about, women always ask me, how do I know I'm a feminine essence woman? Well, the question that you can ask yourself is really, how do you want to feel in a relationship? So when I ask you, Amanda, for example, how do you want to feel in a relationship? What would you say?
I would say secure, loved, cherished, adored, all the things that I think a lot of women want to feel in their relationship.
Yeah, beautiful. A lot of women also say safe, right?
Yeah.
So you said secure, adored, cherished, chosen, safe. So if you feel the same way, if you want at the end of the day, after your busy work day, if you want to come home or go on a date and be with a man who you can just surrender to, like surrender into his big arms, know that he's got it together, know that he's got it, right? And so you can feel safe, cherished, and adored. You're a feminine essence woman. Now, on the contrary, if you would ask men the same question, first of all, they would take a moment to think about, how do I want to feel in a relationship? I'm like, there's a disconnect here. They need a moment. And second, when they start answering this question, they're not going to say, I want to feel safe in a relationship. I want to feel secure, cherished. Like, it's completely opposite. So that's why the first step is to unlock that relationship polarity, to understand how this feminine and masculine dynamic works. And when you understand that as a woman, you start seeing it everywhere. You start understanding how men work, that they are programmed to pursue and to court and to win you, right? And you just need to lean back and allow men to go for it, right? The mistake that so many women do is that they are so much in their masculine energy during the day, and they bring that into the dating field, which is so unneeded and really unwelcomed. And that's not the place to be. The dating is supposed to be fun and exciting. And you're supposed to be sitting there as a woman, really bringing your full feminine self to the table, not sitting there like it's a job interview, having a checkbox, and it's exhausting. Most of my clients, I don't know about you, but they tell me dating is frustrating, dating is exhausting. Well, that's because you're approaching it in the wrong way. This man is there to have fun and to see and to explore this dynamic. And so if you can bring that, if you can step into your feminine in the dating dynamic and in the dating scene and really embody that, then that's a total game changer. So many of my clients are like, I don't even know if I've dated before I realized this. So that's step number one. Step number two is all about liberating past patterns. So Amanda, in my work, I work with women on a deep level. So many women experience dating frustrations. They attract emotionally unavailable men all the time, or they attract men who don't have their life together, who want, women to take care of them. And it's exhausting. But a lot of these things, for me personally, I always say two things. Men are our mirrors. And so all the men that you're attracting into your life are a mirror of who you are. And I know this is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of women, but this is my approach. My approach is very straightforward. I'm honest and I'm authentic, because really everything around you and in your life is a reflection of who you are. So the men that you're attracting into your life today are a direct reflection of your belief system, of what you believe to be true about yourself as a woman, your self-worth and who you are, about what you believe to be true about men, and what you believe to be true about relationships in general. And, you know, I'm the first one to raise my hand and say, I always thought that men can't be trusted, that they're cheaters, they're pigs. I've grown up with relationships and broken homes around me. I have a crazy story myself. When my mom passed away when I was 8, my dad was emotionally unavailable and married a woman who then became emotionally and physically abusive. And so I've gone through my own stuff, you know, we all have a story. And so the most important thing to realize here is that that doesn't have to be your story. And so the work to changing the patterns that you're seeing, to breaking through those patterns in your dating, starts with working on your belief system and reframing those patterns. So it's excavation work. So liberating your past patterns, realizing that men are my mirrors, and am I willing to look into the mirror and to dig deep and to see why, how I might be emotionally unavailable. And the second thing I always say is that every man is a teacher. And I really truly believe that, because every single man you meet is an opportunity for you to learn more about yourself and to change and up level. The third step is to embody your feminine flavor. So in the beginning, you mentioned that I'm a certified feminine embodiment coach, and I'm the first one. And I really, you know, I'm privileged and so honored to have put together a system or a program that's called Embodied Feminine Polarity, that brings together feminine embodiment as a modality. It's a modality that dives deep into a woman's body to help her to reconnect to herself on a deeper level beyond what's in the mind. And anyways, I'm not going to go into that, but that, what my women say, my clients say, and why everything changes for them in terms of men and dating, is feminine embodiment when they start doing their practice and when they get out of their head and into their body. And it's really hard to do when you go on a date. You want to be in your feminine, but you can't because you're in your head. And so with this modality, it's really about dropping out of your head and into your body and starting to feel again. So many women I work with that are highly successful, strong, and ambitious are struggling to feel. They're struggling to feel because they're afraid to be vulnerable. They're afraid to be seen by a man, right? And so there's a lot of numbness there and disassociation. So we break through those barriers, and these women start to feel again and open their hearts. And guess what? Their energy shifts in their dating. And it's unique feminine flavor, because every woman if she uses these tools properly, she can connect to her own unique flavor that is so beautiful, and rediscover who she is and bring that into the dating table. And the last step is to step into intentional dating. So, you know, for me, I talk about dating in men only in the last step, because for me, this journey is not about men. It's about you, because there are women who don't need help in dating. They're just naturally and intuitively date because they naturally and intuitively know how to do this. You know, they know how polarity works. They've perhaps worked through their past patterns, or maybe they had a really good family or a model, a relationship model that they then mirror, right? And they're embodying their feminine flavor, but most of us don't. And I include myself into that category as well. So stepping into intentional dating, meaning that you don't treat a date like a job interview. You're not going to a date to look for your next husband. You really show up with curiosity. And the only question you ask yourself, the two questions, is how do I feel with this man on this date? And do I want to say yes to the next date? That's it. There's no talk about where is this going? Are you my next husband? Have you healed your childhood trauma? Like, what is your 5-year plan? Oh my God, this man has just met you, you know, like the first 3 to 5 dates for me personally, it's all about having fun. It should be exciting, because guess what? Once you get into a relationship, things go deeper and things become serious. And that dating period, I still miss it. You know, I had an amazing dating life with my man, and it's a crazy story and stuff. But yeah, these are the 4 steps: unlock relationship polarity, liberate past patterns, embody your feminine flavor, and step into intentional dating. And obviously, these 4 steps mirror the work that we do with women in my coaching program.
That is so powerful. That is so good. And you break it down where it's simple, I think, to understand, because sometimes there's so much information that singles get about the subject. And I like how you break it down into the 4 phases to make it this is actionable work that they can start to do right now after the summit. So I'd love to kind of dig deeper into the feminine embodiment and why it's important for women to use those tools to attract great men.
Yeah, great question. So this is kind of number three. And as I said, this is quite unique to the work that I'm doing and the modality that I'm using. And why it's important is because, as I said, especially in dating, but also in relationships, a lot of women approach dating as something to figure out or to fix, or like, what's the missing piece here? You know, like what is my blind spot? I don't understand it. So they look at dating as like a problem to fix and to solve, right? Because they're so used to doing this at work or in their life, right? And so unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, it doesn't work like that. You can't control it. And in dating, because now we understand how polarity works, it's really, if you're a woman, a feminine essence woman, it's not about leaning in and figuring out and driving things forward, because it doesn't work. And if you do that, then you're going to start to attract feminine men, on the contrary, who are in their feminine energy, and that's really unattractive. And so feminine embodiment as a modality is so important because it allows you to get out of your head, out of that masculine energy that wants to control and wants to drive things forward. And you know why women want to control and want to drive things forward in a relationship? Because it's uncomfortable to be in the unknown. It's uncomfortable to be in that space of, I don't know if he's going to call me or not. I don't know if there's going to be a second date. And that space is so tender. And so many, most women, I'd say, are so uncomfortable. They just want to know and they want to control, because guess what? If I don't know, then it's painful. And then my insecurities are coming up, and so all of that stuff is here. And so why I love feminine embodiment is that it allows a woman to calm down and to chill, and finally to have a tool to release. Women walk today with so much frozen tension in their bodies that has been accumulated there for years and years and years. And so this is a tool that I teach that takes 5 minutes a day to begin with. And oh my God, if you do this for a week or two, you can do this on your own. I've written plenty of articles about this. But obviously when you have a guide and a coach, it's so much better, because then we can dive deep into what's really at the bottom of this pattern for you, right? Why you're unable to feel. And so when you have this tool, it allows you to drop deep into your heart, drop deep into your womb space or your belly, to start to feel and to be here and now. And so many of my women, they actually do this flow. Our practice is feminine flow. They do feminine flow before they show up on a date. Because when you show up with this energy on a date, it's such a gift. I always say, and then, women do this and they're like, oh my God, I'm attracting different types of men. Well, it's not the men who are changing. It's you who are shifting and changing, because you're not bringing all that baggage with you and all that control and this constricted tension into dating. Great committed masculine men, they want a woman. They want a woman who is full in her being, who can just be there and laugh at his stupid jokes without an agenda, without sitting there, thinking about at the back of her mind, where is this going? No. And when a man, I'm telling you, when a man finds such a woman, he is on a mission to lock her in, because she's unique and she's rare. Well, hopefully with feminine embodiment coaches like me, there's more and more women doing this work. And it's so refreshing to come on a date with a woman who doesn't have an agenda. She's like, you know what? I don't even care. I mean, I do care, but if we don't go on another date, that's okay, because there's plenty of amazing men out there. And through this work of feminine embodiment, what I also love it is that, there's a lot of talk there about affirmations and changing belief systems about men that so many amazing coaches and dating coaches do. But I feel like what's missing is that the embodied sense of it. Like, okay, you can tell yourself all day long that I am worthy of a great man. I am worthy of a great man. But if you don't actually feel that deep down inside, and if you haven't reframed those limiting beliefs in an embodied way, to me personally, it's not as effective and sustainable long term. So I'm all for deep work and long-term change. So that deep down inside, you start to feel worthy of a great man. And when you feel worthy of a great man, and when you know that you can trust men, and you start looking for evidence that men are great, the whole world changes. And an embodied woman is a woman in her full power. And I truly believe this, not only to be in dating, but also in every area of life.
I love that, because it's something I tell my clients when they go into a date. is to think about what can I find out that's great about this person? Because a lot of them go into the stories. They go into what's wrong with this man, why is he still single? So I like that you brought that up because I see that so often as a matchmaker that they don't really, like you said, they don't really feel how worthy they are. They don't step into it as into the date with the right mindset. And it kind of creates a sabotage from the beginning in the first date. So I love that you brought that up. So another question that I want to ask, because I'm sure every woman on here is successful, intelligent, and those are the type of women that I work with all the time. So why are they struggling so hard to find these great men?
Yeah, great question. And again, the answer is in the CMO attraction formula. Why they're struggling to find is number one, it's that what I found is first, it's that polarity, right? Because polarity is reversed. They're struggling because, again, they're approaching dating from that masculine energy place of, I need to figure out dating. So many women of my clients who are successful, ambitious, and driven say, I'm the full package. Like, I'm successful. I've got my job. I've got my career. I have a house. I have I've got great friends. I've got a great life. Where's my man? I thought, one client of mine said, I thought if I just work hard enough, he will appear. And it's so disappointing and really sad that what you thought all your life, you just need to work hard and everything will happen. And that's not the reality. It's really disappointing. It's really frustrating when you don't understand why. Because indeed, these women are incredible and amazing. And it breaks my heart that, and that's why I do this work, to help them reframe that. And so the reason why is because they bring that masculine energy, which is go, 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 need to be in control of your life. And a lot of these women have been brought up with this idea or the belief that's deeply ingrained in them. And I was there myself, that don't trust a man, be independent, only rely on yourself. And so women carry that belief with them throughout their whole life. And of course, if in your belief system, you really believe that you can't trust men, that you got to be independent, you're going to attract men that are going to reflect that, right? And so with all of that stuff, and what I see in busy, successful, ambitious women is it's almost like they overcompensate in their work and in their success and career for that feminine ability to feel, for the feminine ability to surrender. And there's a lot of power in that. A lot of these women have trouble surrendering because all their life they've been told, lean in, go for it, go, 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 achieve, succeed. And so it's really hard to surrender and to be soft and to be vulnerable, because that is seen as weakness. Right. And so that's why it's hard for these women to attract these great men and to have that match, because they're unable to shift from that masculine constricted energy into that feminine flow, right? Which is so attractive to these great, amazing men. And so it's almost like I always say, they're cold blocking themselves or self-sabotaging themselves, right? So it's an issue of polarity there, of switching from that constant masculine into feminine, letting go, relaxing, right? Being able to flow. And it's also in that belief system. So many of us grew up just with no relationship model. I grew up thinking that marriage is a disaster, right? Like everybody's divorcing. I didn't see great worthy men around me. My father was himself emotionally unavailable. And so I was attracting emotionally unavailable men. Guess what? Because I was myself emotionally unavailable. And so if you are attracting those types of men who are not ready for commitment, ask yourself, how are you not ready for a commitment? Because on the surface, you're like, of course I want a relationship. I'm a full package. I'm ready. But the reality, the main reality is not telling you that. So it's time to dig deeper and really see. So that's the reason why they're not able to attract these types of men, I feel, is because there's something deep down in them that is not allowing them to fully open and become themselves emotionally available. Like one woman told me, and I'm just going to finish with this. One woman told me, there was this guy that I was dating, and on our fifth date or whatever, he told me he doesn't see a future with together, like we're not a great match. And, you know, she was sad and disappointed, but at the same time, she said she was relieved. She was relieved because she didn't have to be in a relationship now, right? Because getting into like a lot of women are like, I'm ready for getting into a relationship is a big step. And it takes a lot of work to be in a relationship because it opens you up so deeply to another person. And so many women are not emotionally available for that, are not actually ready. And so this work is about digging deep and understanding why, and then reframing that so you can open your heart. And guess what? It's scary to open your heart, because if you open your heart, it means that it might be broken. But that's the only way to move forward, to know that no matter what happens, you will be okay. And your body can't give you more than you can handle. And you can feel through the layers of pain and sadness and dissatisfaction. But it's a tool and it's a muscle that you have to flex in order to be with that unknown and to be with that sadness. And so, I mean, that's the answer really to all of life and dealing with all life, because it is unpredictable and you can't really control it. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us have been there. I mean, I've been there. I went through the process. I had a father that he just wasn't there. I had to go through the healing process and dig deep and find out why I wasn't attracting high quality men. So that was I've been a matchmaker for 10 years. So it took me a while to get to the point where I finally found my high quality man and my husband. But if I didn't go through that process, I would have never found him. And it's a beautiful process. Looking back, it was hard. It was messy at times, but it was a very beautiful, like, refining process to get to the relationship of your dreams, of that you're meant to have and you know you're worthy to have. So I really encourage women to go through the process because it's life changing. It really is. So you have a really amazing free gift to offer our audience today. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's really that CMM attraction formula. You know, it's how to start attracting committed masculine men. So it's a free training that walks you through, you know, tells you my story and walks you in more detail, obviously, through all the 4 steps and how you can start attracting great men today. And I also, you know, I share a few videos from my clients who went through the process, how everything changed for them. So it's an amazing training. And so do you want me to share the site with them now, the link?
And
Yeah.
we'll include it as well. We'll put it in just below. You can find the link as well, but yes, feel free to share how they
Sure.
can.
Yeah. So you can go to claimed.com/training and you can sign up for the training. And towards the end of the training, if all of this resonates for you and if you're ready, I also have an invitation for you in the training to sign up for a free discovery call where we can talk more about how we can be working together so you can experience what you want. But anyways, for now, just go to the training. There's tons of value in there and you can start applying all these principles right away.
Yes, and I encourage everyone in the audience to do this. I think this is very powerful work and it's very needed to get to that point to find and keep that high quality man, that relationship long term. I think this is very, very powerful. Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so excited to have you here, and you've just really poured into our audience so much good stuff. There's so many takeaways. So, and thank you, audience, for joining us. Make sure you check out the next interview with our next expert and grab Anna's free gift. Don't forget to do that. Have a wonderful day.
So much.
Thank you.